Feasibility tells us whether a project can be done. Viability tells us whether it should be done. While feasibility is concerned with practicality, viability looks at profitability, sustainability, and long-term success. In this module, we will explore the concept of viability studies, examine financial and economic viability, consider environmental and social dimensions, and discuss how feasibility and viability combine in real-world applications. Section 1. Meaning of viability studies. A viability study goes beyond initial feasibility. It focuses on whether a project can generate sufficient returns to be self-sustaining. For example, imagine a city plans to build a new public transport system. A feasibility study may confirm that the technology, funding, and legal framework are available. However, a viability study asks deeper questions. Will enough passengers use the system to cover operating costs? Can the project adapt to future changes, like rising fuel prices or urban expansion? Will the benefits to society justify the investment? Thus, viability studies provide a longer-term perspective. Section 2. Dimensions of viability. Viability can be assessed across several dimensions. Financial viability. Can the project generate sufficient revenues to cover costs and deliver acceptable returns to investors? Economic viability. Beyond financial profit, does the project create value for the wider economy through job creation, productivity, and growth? Social viability. Will the project meet community needs, improve quality of life, and gain public support? Environmental viability. Is the project environmentally sustainable and compliant with green standards? Institutional viability. Can existing institutions manage, regulate, and support the project in the long run? A viable project should perform positively across most of these dimensions. Section 3. Financial and economic viability analysis. The heart of viability studies lies in financial and economic analysis. This involves capital requirements, estimating startup cost and funding sources. Revenue projections, forecasting sales, rents, or user charges. Operating costs, estimating salaries, maintenance, utilities, and other running costs. Profitability measures, using metrics such as net present value, internal rate of return, and payback period. Sensitivity testing, assessing whether profitability holds under changing conditions like inflation or demand shifts. Economic analysis goes a step further by assessing indirect benefits, such as regional development or improved infrastructure. Section 4. Risk and uncertainty in viability studies. No project is free from risks. Common risks include market fluctuations, rising cost of raw materials, regulatory changes, technological obsolescence, environmental disasters. Viability studies incorporate risk analysis to prepare for such uncertainties. For instance, diversification of funding sources or flexible pricing models may help improve viability. Section 5. Linking feasibility and viability studies. Feasibility and viability are not separate, they are complementary. Feasibility asks, can we do it? Viability asks, will it succeed in the long run? A project may be feasible but not viable. For example, a luxury hotel may be technically and legally feasible to build in a rural area, but without sufficient demand, it will not be financially viable. Therefore, decision-makers must conduct both analyses before committing to major investments. Section 6. Applications in real life. Feasibility and viability studies are applied in many sectors, including real estate development, assessing demand, construction cost, financing, and long-term returns. Infrastructure projects, evaluating public transport, energy plants, and water systems. Business startups, testing product demand, operational models, and financial sustainability. Agriculture, determining the potential of commercial farming ventures. Non-profit and public projects, ensuring that social initiatives are sustainable and beneficial. Each application requires adapting the framework to the specific industry and context. In this second module, we explored viability studies in detail. We defined their meaning, examined dimensions such as financial, economic, social, and environmental viability, analyzed financial techniques, discussed risks, and looked at real-life applications. Course conclusion. This course on feasibility and viability studies was divided into 2 modules. Module 1 introduced feasibility studies, their purpose, types, process, and tools. Module 2 examined viability studies, focusing on financial, economic, social, and environmental sustainability, and highlighted their practical applications. Together, feasibility and viability studies form the backbone of responsible project planning and decision-making. They protect investors, institutions, and communities from avoidable failures and ensure that resources are allocated to projects that can truly succeed.